Let's leave this actual on pointer down function, and let's go to the next thing. Let's do bg dot on pointer up, and then do a comma. But in this one, we don't need to put pointer inside the function, so just put function open close and then open close curly braces. Then put player.alpha equals 0.5. So this 0.5 is going to actually make the hammer that we're using as the player faint, so he'd be kind of transparent, you can see through him, so it won't like overlap everything else. After that, put hidden equals false. This way, if he's not actually hitting, it's going to be transparent, and it won't actually interact with the mob itself or the baddie itself. Next, we want the player.x plus to equal 100, and then player.y plus to equal 50. So this is going to actually reposition the hammer like somewhat back to where it was in the first place. And then we want to change the actual collision to actually say he can can't be hit because he has no collision, back to true. So we do player.body.check, then capital collision dot none equals true. At this point, if you want to check out the game and everything, see what you got so far, go right ahead. You should be seeing like just the background. That's about it, but we already set what's going to happen once we have the player and the mouse going up and going down. So let's continue on after that. The next thing we need to do is make the best score, the current score, and then how much time is left in the actual game before the game's over. So let's do old score equals this dot add dot text, then do open close 500 comma 0 comma, and do a string that says best score in it. Then after that, do plus saved and then score, uppercase score. The reason we're using save score is because we said that if the score is equal to no or equal to nothing at all, make the score 0. So when the game loads the very first time, save score is going to put in there the word, or in this case the JSON file is going to parse it to make it the number 0. After that, put a comma. Then let's put an object inside of there. The object is going to say font size, so font, then capital size, and then string. We can go with 30px, and then we're done with that. The next thing we want to do is change the actual text color and everything. So let's go to the next line and type old score dot set and then capital color, the open close. We're gonna do a string. It can be done different ways, but we're gonna do a string. So let's put string, then put the pound sign, like on the phone, and then put 3 letters. We're gonna put FFF. It could be numbers from 0 through 9, and then letters A through F, because that's how hexadecimal codes are written. If you look it up on Google, you could just pick colors out like that. Next, we want to go to old score dot set stroke. So set and then capital stroke, then open close, and then put the string and then the pound symbol, then 3 numbers. Those numbers are going to be 0, 0, 0, then comma 10. The actual 10 is going to be how thick the actual stroke is on the actual lines when you're actually right behind the old score. And then 0, 0, 0, if I'm not mistaken, that's the color black. FFF is the color white. So now you got the old score on the screen, which is going to actually say best score. The next thing we want to do is the current score. The current score needs to say current score equals this dot add dot text. Then do open close, then 500, but this time for the y, instead of doing 0, we're going to do 50. So it should be 500 comma 50 comma, then write the string current score. After that, do plus score, because score, the regular score, not save score, regular score is just always going to be set to 0. The save score is going to be set to the whatever we saved in the actual game for the local storage. And then put comma, then put comma, and then put an object that says font size, so capital size, and then 30px, just like the last one for the string. So now we got that. And now we want to set this color and the stroke the exact same as we did with the old score above. So if you want to copy that and just change the front part of that, you can. But I'm just going to say it anyway. So current, then score, dot set, then capital color, open close, and then put a string, and then put the pound symbol and FFF. On the next line, do current score dot set, then capital stroke, open close, then put the string with the pound symbol 0 0 0, then comma, and the thickness we want to do 10. So that's that. Now if you was to actually go back to that game, you see you got the best score and current score, and they both got actual parameters in there. The best score should be set to 0, and the current score is going to be set to 0 because we already defined that stuff above. Now the next thing we want to put on here is actual what the time is, how much time is left in the game. So we're going to do the exact same thing we did for the other two. So if you want, you can copy all that and just change the front portion of it, but it's time, then capital words equal this dot add dot text. Instead of putting on the 50x and 50y position, what we're going to do this time, we're going to put at 0 for the x, and then put a comma, then 0 for the y. And then for this, we're going to put the word time, because time, we set that to be equal to 30. Then put a comma, then a font size. So size is going to be capitalized, and then the string, we're going to put 60px, because it's going to be bigger than the actual, the text from the other two. It's going to be like double their size. Now the next thing we want to do is the same thing I said before. Dot set color, and then dot set stroke. So time words dot set color is string FFF, and then time words dot set stroke is string, then start the pound symbol, and then 0 0 0, then put a comma, and then the actual thickness is 10. So if you actually load the game up, now you see you got the best score, your current score, and you got the actual time you got left on the left hand side. So next thing we want to do is actually put the restart button and the restart background and everything into the game. We could put it directly into the center just to see that it is actually there. So let's do restart, then capital B and then G equals this dot add dot sprite, and then open close. We're gonna put the X at 0, and then we're gonna put the Y at 0 as well, and then put a comma, then put the string restart, and then capital BG. And below that, we're gonna put restart bg.depth equals 10. The reason we want to do 10 is to make it so thick that it overlaps every single thing that we got on the screen. We want to make sure nothing goes through it and nothing could actually overlap it in any kind of way. So that's that background of the actual button. Now it's time to make the button. So we do restart and then button. So restart and then capital BTN equals this dot add dot sprite 0, 0. Then put a comma, then the string restart, and then capital BTN, button, because that's what we save the button as. That's the name of the PNG. And now we need to make the button interactive. So restart, then button BTN dot set capital interactive, open close for the function. Then on the next line, let's do restart and then capital button dot on. We're gonna do pointer down this time. So string pointer down, comma, then we want to do a function. So function, then open close, and then the actual object behind it. So now we put if game over is equal to true, and then the open close curly braces, put game over is equal to false. So now it's saying if you click on the actual restart button, it actually, starts the game back up. In order to start the game back up, we need to set the parameters back to where they were. So we're gonna put time equals 30, time words dot set text equals time. After that, go to the next line, put score equals 0, then current score dot set text, then open close, put the string that says current score, and then plus score. So what's going to happen is that the current score is already set back to 0. So now the score that says current score next to it is going to be set to 0 as well. And after that, we want to actually reset the position as BG. Instead of us getting rid of it, we're going to just remove it from this position. So let's go back up top and actually change the actual restart BG and the restart buttons X location, because we already we see it on the screen now. We actually like loaded up the game and stuff. So let's change that from 0. Let's change it to 14. So 1400 for both of them. So the X for the restart BG and restart BTN should be 1400. Now let's go back down to restart button right under where we got current score plus score. Let's write restart and then bg.x plus equals 1,000. So now instead of the actual bg being in a position of 1400, it's going to be put it at 400, which would be the center of the screen. And now I'll go on to the next line. Let's put restart btn, you know, for button dot x plus equals 1,000. And the last thing we want to do is actually move the restart word to the center once the timer's up. So we need to type restart capital btn, then the string word dot x plus equals 1,000. At this moment, the button word doesn't exist. Therefore, we need to create it on the next or the upcoming lines and everything. So let's leave this button pointer down function, and then let's do restart capital btn button dot depth equals 10. So we want this to overlap it. Remember, we want to make sure that all the restart stuff takes over the whole screen, so you know it's actual restart button. You can't play the game if you can't click it. So we do restart btn dot depth equals 10, and then restart btn word equals this dot add dot text, and then open close. We're gonna put this position at 1300, so 1300 comma 275 for the y, and then comma, and put the word actually saying the word restart. So once the game's over, the word restart is gonna pop up in the center of the screen, because if you look back up inside of the actual restart button, we got the restart button. It says, well, restart button word, it says dot x plus equals 1,000. So instead of it being just, you know, sitting at 13, it's gonna go to 300. So now let's go back down to where we was writing the button word where it says restart, put a comma. Now let's do an object and do font, then capital size, and then the string should say 50px. After that, let's go to the next line. Let's do restart button word dot set color. So color should be capitalized, and then open close, and then the string should be the pound symbol, then FFF. Under that, let's hit enter. Let's do restart capital button capital word dot set stroke, and stroke should be capitalized, open close, and then do the string pound symbol 000, and then the thickness of the stroke itself, let's do comma and then put 10. And after that, we want to set the actual word's depth to the same as everything else as well. So let's do restart and then button and then word dot depth equals 10. So now when the game ends, it's going to actually position the game, the restart button in the background, the word into the center, and when they click on restart, it's going to actually push the stuff right back to where it was. So let's move on to the next thing. So what we want to do now is actually create the illusion and the actual holes onto the screen and everything, so the little blue dude could jump out of it. So we need to make a group that has physics. So we do hole equals this dot physics dot add dot group. So now you got a group of things that's going to be added. So now inside that, the key you put the string hole, because we named the black thing a hole because that's what the black hole is. Then put a comma, and then repeat. We want to repeat that 5 times because it's 5 holes. So now let's go to the next thing. Let's do holes with an S equals hole dot get children. So now that variable holds all the children inside of itself. This right here is going to be a different way of doing a for loop. Instead of writing a for loop and all that extra stuff, we're going to write holes dot for and then capital each, and then do open close, and we're going to put a function inside that. All right, so put function, and then we got to put the holes to represent a letter itself. So I'm going to go to letter A. So put function, then A inside of that, then go to A dot body dot allowed and capital gravity equals false, then A dot body dot immovable equals true. After that, do A dot set and then capital size, open close, and do 100 comma 15. After that, do A dot body dot check collision dot none equals true. So long story short, what's happening is here is making sure that these holes don't have the property of having gravity anymore. They're